I have always been a wonderful woman. At least, I saw and placed myself this way. I was only preoccupied with my looks. I liked to show off my body, wore provocative clothes, and was very vain. I invested heavily in my beauty. I was literally a stunner in Sao Paulo. If I went to a place where there were 10 men and I took a fancy in one of them, in no more than 10 minutes, he would be there by my side. But what was the point of so much beauty if inside I was ugly, bitter, empty, and wanted to die? I exhibited and showed off my incredible body. But when I went home, I felt like I was another person. I saw myself alone, sad, and when I looked in the mirror, I could only see that ugly, bitter, and horrible person who was inside that body. However, nobody knew this, as I had not discussed it with others. So, I was a very beautiful woman, but I was unhappy. I was sad and bitter in my soul. I felt that bitterness and the desire to die. So, I began having many health issues. However, what struck me the most at the time was depression and sadness. I had to stop studying as I could not concentrate. I felt the anguish and sadness that took over me. I could not sleep, simply did not sleep. I also had a stammer. I went to the doctors and they gave me a lot of medication, including a prescription tablet to help me to sleep. I didn't know how to feel good or happy. The doctor told me that I had to have that medication for the rest of my life because I suffered from anxiety. She told me that my stammer was because of my anxiety. She suggested that I seek help from a speech therapist, as stuttering has no cure. About the depression, she told me, "You will have to live with that." As I could not sleep, I spent my nights wandering around the flat. As I flickered through the channels on TV, I started watching the Universal Church programs. Then I began wanting to know more about the church's work. That's when I felt God calling me for the first time. However, I was so deep into the depression that I was already wishing to die. Stammerer, depressed, lonely, beautiful on the outside but destroyed inside. So I asked God to take me from this world. 3 days later, I was sitting on my building stairs, and a neighbor who is an assistant at the Universal Church came to talk to me, but I did not know that she was an assistant. So she said, "Let's go to the church tomorrow. I can see that you've been very sad lately." I told her, "I watch a night show on TV, and the only church I desire to know is the Universal Church. So do not take me wrong, but I do not want to come with you." She replied, "Lini, I am an assistant at the Universal Church." I'm sorry, but this is very emotional for me. See the situation? I was sitting there asking God to take me away, and God sent me an assistant from the Universal Church to talk to me. Then she said, "So, let's go?" I said, let's go. When she said she was an assistant at the church, I asked, where is the Universal Church around here? She said, there is one 2 blocks away from where we live. So, we went to the church. After the meeting ended, the assistant took me to talk to the pastor. He looked at me, and he was very sincere. Look, Mrs. Rosa, if you do everything right, and still you do not get delivered, still do not sleep, if you are not healed from this stammering, I will stop talking about this God. You even do not need to come back. But as a sign, I have faith that today you will be able to sleep. This will be the best night of your life. When I went home, I decided to challenge myself. Even if the pastor did not ask me to do that, I did because I challenged it. As he said that I would sleep better that night without needing medication, I thought I want to see if I can sleep without it. So I also made a challenge. I took all the medication, very expensive medicine, and flushed them down the toilet. And in fact, that night was the best night of my life. I slept like a baby. It did not take even 2 months. I had not even finished the chain of prayer I was doing. I was already speaking like I am now. So, I had this desire to serve God, to get baptized. So, I went down to the waters. I said, God, you have delivered me. You have healed me from depression. I no longer feel depressed. I can sleep, eat, and look after myself. Now, I need to have your spirit, because from now on, my life will only have meaning if I have your spirit. What is the point of all this if I don't receive your spirit? So, I began seeking the Holy Spirit. I focused on the Holy Spirit. It was a huge battle, but when the day arrived, oh Lord, nothing compares. I am a mother, but the joy of having the Holy Spirit is 1,000 times bigger than having a baby. People have no idea what it is to have the Holy Spirit. It is such a joy in our soul. I left that meeting that night wanting to tell everyone, God has delivered me. God has healed me. God saved me. I wanted to save everyone too, and to talk about the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit is incomparable. He is incomparable. The greatest greatness a human being can have on this earth is to have the Holy Spirit. Today, I still receive many compliments, but it is different. When I arrive at a place, people tell me, you have something that we do not know what it is, but it is something good. This body of mine will soon become an old dried up prune. We really need to look after it, but of course, with balance. Because the Holy Spirit is balance. Today, I am married to a man who loves me and is faithful to me. I had the opportunity to get married in the marriage celebration ceremony. Today, I am very happy. I love my husband very much, but my greatest treasure is the Holy Spirit. I do not exchange what I have today for anything else. If I am to die today, I will die happy because I know where my soul will go. My soul belongs to Jesus.